is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. No.
Y'all, just stop. This is a sham.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. You guys see we have our very own British insider,
yes.
Stephanie Jones, in the building. Hey, she's joining the panel today. We're so excited to have you. And that's because today marks the 25th year anniversary since Princess Diana's death. You know, there's a lot that comes with this, and Steph knows all the information from being over there and living over there. Diana's death shocked the world. Her legacy has never faded, though. And before we talk with Steph, let's take a look back at Diana's remarkable life.
There was so much attention on me when I first arrived on the scene, and I had so many people watching me.
Before becoming the People's Princess, she was a 19-year-old nanny on the path to be queen. An astonishing 750 million people in 74 watch watch her walk down the aisle.
You're not worried about that 3.5-minute walk?
No, I go along with everybody else.
She becomes the pillar of both beauty and kindness.
The lead up to Princess Diana coming was, will she or won't she wear gloves? And she didn't.
Teaching her young sons to lead with their heart.
It was that love that even if she was on the other side of a room, that you, as a son, you could feel it.
But after 15 years of marriage, the royal couple separates. The press hounds her every move.
I was not aware of how overwhelming that attention would become, nor the extent to which it would affect both my public duties and my personal life.
Then, in 1997, the world watches as the unthinkable happens.
We interrupt this film to tell you we are getting reports that Diana, Princess of Wales, has been badly injured in a car crash in France.
Devastation sweeps the globe. It's been 25 years since Princess Diana's death, but for some, it's a wound that will never heal.
I do regularly put in George or Charlotte to bed, talk about her, and just try and remind her that there are two grandmothers. There were two grandmothers in their lives.
Yeah, I have no doubt that my mum would be incredibly proud of me. I'm living the life that she wanted to live for herself, living the life that she wanted us to be able to live.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed yourselves where lives were torn apart.
Wow, that really reiterates the impact that she had for so many years. I can't believe it's been 25 years. But Steph, I wanted to ask you, what was it like immediately following Diana's death in the years and the days after?
Well, I remember I was young when it happened, and I remember the whole world was in shock and mourning. No one could quite understand, like, how has this happened? You know, this was a former royal member of the family, Princess Diana, like, leaving behind two very young boys. She was so young, 36 years old, and it was just tremendously sad. Not only in the UK, but the ripples went out across the entire world. Everyone was devastated.
Well, yeah, I guess that's my question. I want to know how this affects, like, 'cause we know how we're mourning here in America.
Yeah.
You know, Tory, Lindsay were definitely emotional as that was playing. But what will be going on right now today in England?
So, in England and in Paris, at the site in which Diana passed away, there are a lot of fans that are leaving wreaths, flowers, artwork, things of that nature to celebrate and honour Diana. But these are from fans. This has not been left by the royal family. And what happened was 5 years ago, the royal family released a statement saying that they would no longer be publicly mourning or celebrating this anniversary.
Was that controversial?
I think, you know, you've got to think, do William and Harry want to go through these emotions publicly every single year? I'm sure at some point they want to have that privately at home. You know, they have to share so much of their lives with the public as it is. So I think, you know, whatever's right for them, we can't discriminate them on wanting to celebrate or honour their mother in their own personal way. But I think it goes to show the royal family are ready, you know, for that to be a private matter. But the public will still always, like they said, she was the people's princess. They'll always be leaving those wreaths and going to visit the site.
I always felt that the Queen showed more right when she died. And I know Tony Blair at the time was trying to get her to be like, no, we need you.
Yes.
We need you. It was so difficult. As Americans, we're always told that Diana changed the monarchy.
Yes.
Did she really, as a Brit, did you feel a difference?
I think she changed the way in which the monarchy was perceived, for sure. So I really, as a British person, I really admire our royal family and what they've done, not only for the United Kingdom, but for the Commonwealth. They are an incredible force to be reckoned with. They've done so much for charity and they dedicate their lives. It really is an act of service. And when you are a member of the royal family, it's not like us sat here where we have the freedom to say whatever we want. It doesn't matter who we upset or what our political belief is. They have to remain neutral at all times. And they definitely leave their personal feelings at the door and they do a job, you know. And I think Diana broke that mold. She definitely stood out. She wanted to live a different life, and she, as much as I think sadly it caused her death with the paparazzi following her, but she did interviews, she spoke out, which no one ever had done before. But I think then it was like before the days of social media, it was groundbreaking, it was very different. And unfortunately people then, I feel, thought they had more access to her, she was more accessible, literally leading to the paparazzi chasing her to her death. It was very sad.
And people claim that Diana had plans to move to the U.S. before she passed away. Do you believe that to be true?
I mean, I know she was obviously very unhappy in her situation in the United Kingdom after her separation from Charles. And we look at Harry and Meghan and the life that they've created for themselves, and I believe she's of the same ilk, to be honest. And I think it could have been a really strong possibility for her, absolutely.
Can I ask you a question, just as an outsider? Did the paparazzi face any backlash there in England for killing the most beloved person that has maybe ever set foot in the country?
I mean, I think absolutely people were horrified, but did it change the paparazzi in the UK? Absolutely not. I mean, they're ruthless. They're ruthless. They'll stop at nothing. And I think that's also like the fine line that comes with being a royal member of the family, because you are behind closed doors, because you don't show that emotion, which must be incredibly difficult. They're always trying to break into that and get any bit of nugget of information they can. But sadly, no, I think it's just as bad today as it was 25 years ago.
Wow, thank you so much. But before we go, Steph, we have to say a big congratulations to you because you recently got engaged, and we couldn't be happier for you. You know, there you are with your soon-to-be hubby. So tell us all about the engagement, because this is a royal wedding in itself.
Oh, you're so cute. Now, my lovely fiance, I'm not used to saying that, Riche, it was absolutely amazing. So he's from Corsica, which is a tiny little island in the middle of the Mediterranean.
I'm from Cleveland.
I'm from Long Island.
Take that round. Yes.
She's from Long Island.
I love it. Well, he took me and all my family, my best friends, everyone was there. It was absolutely amazing. He completely surprised me, and I'm not honestly like the luckiest girl in the world. I can't even tell you. He is such a fantastic person, and this is coming from the girl who said I would never get married, and I was like, finally.
Yes. We are so excited for you.
And when we got done, I was like, Steph, this is the dude.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
It's funny. They always say like, oh, when you know, you know, and I've always been like, oh, I'm so not into that. And there were other little things that had happened earlier in the year, and I was like, it would be the biggest regret of my life if I did not marry this person. So I knew.
Awesome.
I knew.
I love that. All right, Steph. Well, coming up on DBL, Sharon Stone is talking about how she got dumped by a younger guy over not getting Botox, and Leonardo DiCaprio is single for the first time in 4 years. We're all talking about the split next.
Closed captioning provided by
It's so easy.
Hey, just stop by to say we're taking over. We're made of this. We're taking over. You know what time it is. We're taking over.
Can you imagine? How did you get engaged? On Corsica. Mediterranean.
It was actually
in the sun. Tell us more, please.
It was actually, so there's a little tiny little island which is in between Corsica and Sardinia called the Isle of Cavallo, and basically you have to be invited to go on the island. You can't just go.
It's called Cavallo?
Yeah, you can't just go there.
Just because you know the name doesn't mean you get an invite.
I know, I was like, maybe I'll get an invite.
Like you're going to write it down, I'm going to go
Cavallo.
there.
So you have to be invited to the island.
You've got to have an invite. So it was very special and it was amazing.
Were you on the boat or were you at a restaurant?
No,
Where were you?
on the island, there's like let's say a cliff that overlooks. You can see Sardinia for one point. You can Corsica from one point, and it was on a beautiful like cliff.
I asked my ex-wife to marry me after I'd emceed a Keep Sweat concert in West Palm Beach in the hotel. Yeah. That was our Sardinia.
So let me ask, did he get on one knee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when they get on one knee. And was he shaking and nervous?
No,
he was calm.
nervous.
He was calm.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he knew from day one.
But he had to take that ring through all of security.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like I
Good for him.
Because I would have never thought he would have proposed like when we're on a boat with like swimming, we're in and out the water. Like, yeah, sure, let's bring a loose ring.
Right.
No.
But he did.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have imagined that at all. But that made it even more like special because I had no idea it was going to be.
And she had your family was there.
My family, my best friends.
Can you imagine?
It was amazing.
The sun, your family, the ring, the man you love.
It was really, really amazing. It was amazing.
I was there for ground zero of Roche, because me and Steph were homies, and she'd just be like, "Yeah, my friend's coming to pick me up." And I was like, "Oh, your friend? Who's this friend?
Who's this friend that we keep hearing about? Row. We kept hearing row here, row there, Roche. He's
just like
lovely.
He's just like a solid dude. I love him so much. I'm so happy.
He's really, really amazing.
You both deserve each other. You're both great.
He's very awesome.
God. See? Dreams do come true. Seriously. That's fabulous.
Welcome back. So we're looking at some laughter over here. I want to know what's going on. We're looking at some celebrity breakup stories people are talking about, like Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo and model Camila Morrone have reportedly broken up after more than 4 years together. The two have been linked since December 2017, and she just turned 25 in June. The breakup also means Leo keeps his track record of never dating anyone over the age of 25.
We all know those gross 25 years.
Yeah, 26 is too far. Yeah. Leo, who is 47, also dated Giselle for 5 years, but when they broke up, she was about 23, or she was 23. And he also dated model Bar Raffaelli in the mid-2000s, but they broke up when she was 25. In fact, from the age of 24 to 47, all of Leo's past girlfriends, including Blake Lively, have been between the ages of 21 and 25 when they broke up. So do you think Leo has a dating expiration date?
Oh my God.
We are all out.
We just had facts. You know what I thought about with this? Because I think right now people are looking at a 47 and he's like a young, still dashing man. And it's like, oh, this is what you do. I think about what you look at this when somebody plays the long game. And I think about Hugh Hefner being wheeled out of his mansion at 90 by a 22-year-old and having that old hat put on him. It was the most embarrassing thing I'd ever seen. And this is what happens when you kind of have that Peter Pan syndrome. It seems like it's a cool thing, but I think there's some underlying fears of like getting older himself and actually like impending, like if your women stay young, you feel like you do, but it's not happening. You don't get that deal either.
I mean, do you think you know who you are at 25, Tori?
No.
I feel like that age is like so specific to who you are going to be for the rest of your life. It doesn't match up.
No, and also the fact that someone on like Reddit made a graph of it to show that it's actually real is pretty astounding. That he has a real deal breaker, it seems like, or a real issue here at 25. The love's gone. I mean, it's just over.
I want to ask Steph, do you think that like anybody that dates him now should know that this is a thing?
Yeah.
You should know going in.
First of all, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. He can date whoever he wants, and I don't think many women are going to be like, see you later.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. So I think he has got a much wider variety and pick of the litter than most men his age. But I do think, you know, if you're dating Leonardo DiCaprio, that also comes with the price of, will he stay with you? Probably not. Will he drop the age group again? Probably. So I mean, like, do you really want to put yourself in that situation? Like,
probably.
Yeah, right. It's like,
I think a lot of people will take that deal for you. All right.
Let's keep up with the breakup theme. So Sharon Stone revealed that she was dumped by a younger man for refusing to get Botox. Speaking to Vogue Arabia, Sharon, who's 64, said she was recently in a relationship with a younger man, but then he asked if she used Botox. Sharon told him, quote, "It would probably be really good for your ego and mine if I did, but after one more date, she never saw him again." She said, if a guy doesn't see her for more than her looks, then please find your way to the exit. Sharon revealed that she had used Botox in the past, but stopped after she needed it to even out her face after a stroke and a brain hemorrhage. So she used it for medical reasons, does not want to use it for aesthetic reasons, and it's a personal choice. I don't want anybody telling me what to do.
It was the rudest thing I've ever heard, but go ahead.
Well,
please.
I mean, clearly we all think that's rude, right? Clearly that's not
absolutely.
great. I don't know about Sharon Stone.
What do you mean?
You know, the whole Sharon Stone for me is a little problematic with her stories because someone is. I'm serious.
You say she's lying?
A lot of people online have said Sharon Stone has not told the whole truth about a lot of things, and I wonder if this is another story because, obviously everyone's going to feel bad. Well, what guy goes up to Sharon Stone and is like, "Can you get Botox?"
Well, they were together. I mean, Steph, if somebody said that to you, what's your response? Are you like, oh, they love me and they just are looking out, or you're rude?
I don't think I wouldn't take it probably very well. I mean, my Botox is worn out. This is the most freedom my face has had in a very long time.
Enjoy it. Freedom.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, my face can move. But no, I wouldn't literally, I wouldn't offend me, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker if someone said that to me. But I think I'm of the generation now where so many people do it. It's not as taboo as it once was.
All right, and this might be uncomfortable, but it needs to be said, and I have no problem saying it. Should you not know this going in if you have a significant age difference with the person? Not that they're going to ask you to get Botox, but that this might be a shorter relationship. Because if you are in your mid to late 40s and they are in their early to mid 20s,
yeah.
I think there's this weird thing human beings do where we try and look at everything like it's Romeo and Juliet and we need to die together on a rock or something. I think sometimes a relationship is just going to be like a fun summer. Oh, yeah, what's his name? In 1999, I remember him. And then you just go on. So maybe if you're having a younger partner, maybe you should just look at it just like a ski pass, just for that season.
Romantic.
Some people probably think that they are the exception to the rule. I'm sure that I would say at least some of the girls that dated Leonardo DiCaprio thought they were the exception.
Probably.
You think oh, he hasn't dated me yet, right? I would go in that joint thinking that, and I'm well past 25, so I don't know.
No, I think you're right, Lindsay. I think a lot of people think, oh yeah, no, I'll be different. I'll be the one that changes either Leonardo DiCaprio or Sharon Stone, but you know.
Then you walk in his house and you go, what's that countdown clock for? It's father time is coming. Yeah,
and there are things that are off limits when somebody's older, I feel like, or younger. You gotta that you're robbing the cradle, or that this person's really much older than you. Maybe you don't mention Botox to them because that might be a sensitive issue, or dyeing your hair gray to reference, the Canadian news anchor who has gray hair that's recently in the news. Some things are just probably off limits for the age group.
Yeah.
One would think.
You would think that
Especially
would
with
happen.
the 20-year age difference.
Especially with someone of such respect and beauty as Sharon Stone, too. She's stunning.
She's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Thumbs down.
To be on a date with Sharon Stone in the first place.
But like Judge Judy said, you picked him. She picked him. There's dudes her age.
And she left him.
Yeah. Al has no remorse in his statements. Coming up on DBL, couples caught having sex in public, even at a baseball game. What?
Baseball game.
Is this the ultimate faux pas?
President Joe Biden estimates 43 million Americans will get at least some of their student loans forgiven. His plan forgives up to $20,000, but Verify viewer Laura Lee wants to know if that money will get taxed and sent us this question.
This is not forgiveness if you lose part of your income due to taxation of the forgiven loans. Do you have any information regarding Oregon's plans? Thank you.
So, Laura Lee, let's verify. Will people who receive student loan forgiveness have to pay federal or state taxes on that money? Our sources are the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the White House, the Tax Foundation, the Oregon Department of Revenue, and Andrew Lautz with the National Taxpayers Union Foundation. To answer this question, we have to go back a year before the president's announcement. In March 2021, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan Act. This was part of a COVID-19 relief package and stipulated that any debt forgiven between December 2020 and January 2026 does not count as income. Lautz tells Verify this includes student debt announced by Biden. So, no, people who receive student loan forgiveness won't have to pay federal taxes on that money. As for state taxes, it depends on where you live. If your state has an income tax, then it can decide whether to tax forgiven debt as income. Laura Lee is in Oregon, and the state's Department of Revenue told us it won't tax forgiven debt. While not every state has decided what to do, no states have announced so far that they will tax the forgiveness. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. So some people have a low tolerance for PDA, public display of affection, but others throw your tolerance and their clothes out the window with a public display of you-know-what. Sex. And a graphic warning for our viewers, you may find some of this content graphic. So check this out. A couple being intimate at the Toronto Blue Jays game earlier this week, where many fans witnessed and recorded the sexual encounter happening in the nosebleed section. What? No.
You gotta hide the sex. You have terrible seats.
As well as the police and security intervention that followed to break it up. And Toronto was the only place couples felt comfortable enough to get it on in public. In Sandusky, Ohio, shout out to Al, a couple was charged with public indecency for giving festival goers a show at 145 feet in the air on a giant Ferris wheel. There were multiple witnesses, oh my gosh, including minors.
That's what would have thrown me. It's just like, I think while the first one was kind of funny and probably they both don't remember even going to the baseball game or buying tickets, the second one is like, you can get in trouble for publicly, relieving yourself. But like if you're near a school, if you wherever you might be exposing yourself where children are around,
that's a felony.
It goes from like this goofy little news story to like a really big deal. But I don't know. I think since the beginning of time, there's always been exhibitionists. That's kind of like
Stephanie is not laughing about this.
No, I literally think it's the no decorum anymore. Have people got no class? Not only do you buy cheap seats, but you're clearly a cheap person. How shocking.
No, some people...
Seriously, go home or get put in prison because I don't want to see that stuff.
But what if you are a kink, you have a kink, and we don't want to kink shame anyone here, and that kink is that you might get caught, and that's a real thing.
But your kink can't interfere with my life.
Fair.
And minors.
Also, they were at a public place on a children's ride.
No, I tried.
They watch too many movies. Like, don't do that in real life. So while we're on the subject, there were some freaky flyers on a recent Southwest flight to Mexico. The pilot went full dad mode and threatened to turn the plane around if these passengers didn't stop sending unsolicited nude photos to other passengers. Take a listen to the pilot's message caught on TikTok.
So here's the deal. This continues while we're on the ground. I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off. We're going to have to get security involved. And it's vacation that's going to be ruined. So you folks, whatever that airdrop thing is, quit sending naked pictures. Let's get yourself to Cabo.
An incident like this is called cyber flashing and was brought to the attention of the pilot when a passenger received the explicit image and complained to a flight attendant.
Why'd they open it?
They're getting sent.
No, they come like airdrop, it pops up.
And you just see it?
Yeah, you see it and it says accept this or not.
And you don't know what it is, and it's happening now a lot. I remember we did a story on when Drake dropped a picture of a woman saying, "You look beautiful," and she's like, "What the heck?"
Seriously.
It's creepy and it's invasive and it's not okay.
Literally, when they invented criminal profiling for sex offenders, one of the first things that happens is people indecently exposing themselves. This is shocking, you guys.
Yeah.
All right, this is bad. We'll talk about this more after this. We'll be right back. This is crazy.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Darling. When class action lawsuits reach a settlement, a notice goes out to everyone who could claim a portion of the money. But when those notices suddenly appear in your inbox seeming to offer free money, it's natural to be suspicious. A Verify viewer recently got such an email saying he could get cash from a settlement with Facebook, and he wanted to know if it's real. So let's verify. Is this Facebook internet tracking settlement legit? Our sources, court documents from the Northern District of California, and David Straight, one of the lead lawyers in the suit. The notice our viewer got included a link to a website called fbinternettrackingsettlement.com. That may seem like a suspicious site at first, but it is in fact pretty common for pages like this to be set up for class action lawsuits. The site also lists a specific case number for the settlement, so we looked up the court records. And documents from the U.S. District Court in Northern California match the documents listed on the website. The docs also specifically list the website's URL as the platform that people should visit to file their claim or object to the terms of the settlement. We also reached out to the legal team that brought the suit, and one of the lead attorneys said, quote, "Yes, the website is legitimate, and we encourage all class members to consider filing a claim." So we can verify, yes, this Facebook internet tracking settlement and its website are legit. The suit alleges Facebook improperly tracked people's data, specifically U.S. Facebook users who went to websites that displayed Facebook like buttons in a certain period between 2010 and 2011. If you fit that bill, you can go to the site and file a claim, and you could eventually get your cut of the $90 million deal. Facebook did not admit to wrongdoing in the settlement and did not respond to our request for comment. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
As people wait for more information from the Department of Education on what to do next to claim this loan forgiveness benefit, there's also the question of if the program could get tied up in court. The Biden administration points to something called the HEROES Act as giving them authority for the sweeping student debt cancellation program. So what is it and how is it connected with student loans?
Our sources are the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students, or HEROES Act, the Department of Education, and the Biden administration. The HEROES Act was passed after 9/11. It allows for the forgiveness of student loan requirements during certain periods of hardship in the country, like during a war or national emergency. It became law while U.S. troops were fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and lawmakers agreed they should be protected from growing loan burdens. This accompanying legal opinion cites the HEROES Act as justification for the debt cancellation program, which the Biden administration has said is directed at, quote, addressing the financial harms caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Department of Education also stood on the HEROES Act to initially pause student loan collection in 2020 during the Trump administration. However, some say this is too broad an interpretation of the HEROES Act, or even a case of presidential overreach. Members of his own party have even long questioned if this is something the president has the authority to do.
So how would a legal challenge happen? That's actually a big question here. With the way the judicial process works, someone would have to make the case that they've been personally harmed by this to have standing in court to challenge it. But it's something we know Republicans and conservative advocacy groups have already started talking about. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. So the biggest plus to working out is good health, but the downside can be muscle soreness. So should you soothe your pain with a warm compress or cool it down with an ice pack? It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. So experts say that ice can reduce pain and inflammation by decreasing blood flow to the affected area and is best for severe pain like acute strained muscles. However, heat can soothe and heal muscles by increasing blood flow and is better for chronic pains and injuries. Can't talk today. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers. Supported by 30 years of clinical research, Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 1-800-686-5325 or visit OmegaXL.com for more information. Steph, shame on them.
Shame on them.
Seriously, a lack of decorum all around. Sort yourselves out.